Yo, what's up? Circuit Score here, and today is a big day. Had the fortunate opportunity to pick up a 5090 at MSRP, the unicorn. I've been doing some extensive testing to get this thing with a stable undervolt and some pretty admirable temperatures with the fan running almost silent. And today we are going to be running Nolvus on the ultimate preset, the one that's not even supported for my old 4080 Super, and we're also going to be running the SR Exteriors mod. And what that mod does is it allows you to seamlessly walk into cities without having any loading screens. So I'm pretty excited to test this out. I'm gonna be doing this all live, so I haven't done any pre-testing on this yet. So real quick, I'm gonna run through the installation steps here, and I'm not gonna do a full tutorial on how to install Nolvus. My first video I did on Nolvus, I went through a full guide on how to get it installed. It does not use Wabbajack. It uses its own installer. So I'm just gonna be essentially going through the dashboard and applying a new mod instance with the full ultimate presets, with the SR cities exteriors, every advanced graphic mod, and reinstalling. And then we're going to be doing a little gameplay and some benchmarking to test this thing out, see how well it runs. So here we are in the Nolvus dashboard, asking me to pick an instance to install. I've already deleted my old instance. I wanted this to be a fresh installation. So I'm going to go with the latest version, the 6.0.14 Nolvus Awakening. Just telling you it's in a beta state. And then I'm going to use the same folder setup. So yep, this all looks good. I already had these preset up. And this is the settings page where you can determine all of your graphic settings for Nolvus, depending on your system. So in my case, I have pretty much the highest end system possible, minus my RAM. I might need to upgrade that at some point, but 32 should get us by. So we're just gonna be maxing out every single setting here, including this one that I'd like to try. I'm very interested in this SR Exterior Cities. And again, this is not a feature I was able to use with my older 4080 because I did not have enough VRAM. And the 4080 still has quite a bit of VRAM, but the 5090 has 32 gigs of VRAM. So it should now work fine with this new SR Exterior Cities option. And here it is warning us, it's very performance heavy. I'm gonna try to run it at 4K without any tools like FrameGen or lossless scaling. Oh wow, so this may not even work that well with a 5090. I guess we'll see what happens. All right, let's turn that on. Might as well go with DLAA here. And then we want the high Skyrim profile. It's as high as it goes. We don't want downscaled resolution, although based on that warning with the SR Exterior Cities, maybe we do. I guess we'll see what happens here. All right, let's go ahead and hit continue. And then this is where you can select your ENB. There is a few different options. And for the sake of this video, I mean, you can go through and kind of look. It's stretched out because I enabled this to be full screen on my screen here. But you can still get an idea of how it looks. So, you know, I really like the cabbage one. I've tried this cause before and it was just like kind of too dim for me. I kind of like the pop. We're gonna go with cabbage, continue. Page size, I've already got that set up. It's very important. Yeah, it's all good, don't worry. And then you will need a Nexus Premium account. I think you guys are pretty familiar with my videos. You probably already know that if you've been installing these mod lists. But it's the same with the Nolvus dashboard installer. You will need a Nexus Premium account in order to install the mod list. Unfortunately, you might have to pay like $8 and then cancel it, or it might be worth paying for a year. It's kind of up to what you want to do. All right, and this is your final installation summary page. Want to go ahead and check all this real quick, and everything looks good. So let's go ahead and hit next. All right, it's gonna go ahead and start checking all of your game files, checking to see which mods you already have installed in your archive. If they've already been downloaded, it's gonna be a much faster process. If you've already downloaded a previous version of Nolvus and you have the archive file still set up and all those mods are still there, it should be a pretty quick process, especially when it comes to updates and whatnot. So we're going to let it do its thing and then come back when it's done. All right, so here we are in Riverwood. And right now, it looks like my system is breaking 16 gigs of RAM. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with my system, of course, now I have a better graphics card, but it is now a 5090 with a 9800X 3D. So at this point, I am pretty much running with the absolute max settings, max hardware for a gamer at this point. So this is running through Riverwood. I'm sure you guys are very familiar. 105 FPS. And what we're going to do, we're going to run up over that hill and we're going to see if we can just walk straight into Whiterun without any like major crashes or frame rate drops. I mean, it was saying that I might have troubles even with a 5090. But I guess we'll see what happens. So far, it's running really nicely. And this is the inside of that inn that I normally start in. 150 FPS. I mean, obviously, the 5090 is a beast, but also Nolvus is, like I said, one of the hardest mod lists to run. So this looks honestly awesome. I mean, I don't think there's many changes from 0.13, but yeah, this looks excellent. I love this like flooring that they've got here. It looks so good. Yeah, this is one of my favorite inns. Yeah, this looks different though, I think. I like it though. There's a lot more NPCs in here than I remember.
You're that visitor been poking around.
What's she doing, Delphine? It's a different NPC for her. All right, let's go ahead and do this. Run into Whiterun here. Check out the river, do a few more benchmarks. But yeah, this is as good as it gets. And you can see my 5090 even is pushing 100%. And in terms of like games to push a graphics card to 100%, Skyrim, highly modded Skyrim is the best way to do it that I've found so far. As you can see, even my CPU is only at like 43%. Now, this one does use a lot more CPU resources. It does seem to be more optimized to use more of the CPU resources than some of the other mod lists that I've tested in the past. Yeah, let's take a look at this here. So it's like an autumn day right now. Yeah, that looks awesome. I think a lot of people would argue that the water might be too like too blue. But I still think it looks pretty good. I mean, if you're going for like a really colorful mod list, this is probably the best one to go with is Nolvus. Yeah, this is wild. And it looks like we're getting about... Okay, I didn't see the FPS at first. So about 75 to 80, depending on where we're looking. Looking this way, 107. I'm going to have to remember some of these benchmarks now that I have a different graphics card, so I can essentially benchmark between the different mod lists moving forward with the new hardware. So let's go up over this hill here. Get our wolf. Easy. Okay, interesting blood. I think we've looked at this before. I've done a few videos on Nolvus, but I do think the blood's a little too like oversaturated for this mod list. You can see it might just be a little too much when it comes to the graphics. The mod list that I just reviewed recently, actually, Nordic Souls 3.0, it just came out of beta. I thought that had some of the best graphics for like blood and gore that I've ever seen in terms of like realism. Right, so this is going over that hill. This is always kind of tough to run because you're running through like a grassy area. And wow, look at that VRAM usage. So for those of you that are unaware, the 5090 has 32 gigs of VRAM. And at one point, oh man, yeah, now we're almost hitting 19. We were hitting 19. It's coming back down to like 17 or 18. Oh. Stutter there. So that's one thing. A lot of times you gotta like kind of run through these. It'll like load some of this like cache. So if I run through that same area again, you wouldn't see the stutter, but it's just something you kind of got to deal with a lot of these mod lists from what I've seen. Whoa. Okay. So that right there, that huge stutter, I'm assuming was it trying to load Whiterun into the VRAM. And look at my VRAM usage. It says now 21 gigs. So I think that huge stutter right there, like I said, was it trying to like patch the entire city so that it can get rid of the loading screens. I want to try to like go through that again. I'm going to go just like kind of up this hill and back down and see if it still does that little stutter. Okay, yeah, see, there it goes a little bit again. I'm wondering if that is exactly what I'm assuming, is it's just trying to like load that into your like VRAM cache. So, all right, we are coming up, obviously. Oh, there it is again. So, I don't know, maybe this City exteriors might not be worth it if you're going to see all these different kind of stutters and whatnot. But as you can see, it is really trying real hard to load in Whiterun as I'm coming up so I don't have any loading screens. So it may not even be worth it, even with a 5090. But yeah, we're coming up around into Whiterun here. Still getting a few stutters here and there. And like I said, I'll have to try to maybe run through this again. Like I'll save it and then try to do that same run and see if it does the same thing. All right, let's see what happens here. We can just walk right in. Oh yeah, there we go. 0 loading screens.
We'll pay whatever it takes, but we must have more swords.
Now, one thing I did notice here, and it does look like the performance has dropped. So I've tested this out without the SR Cities exteriors mod, and I was getting about 100 through here with the 5090. So I'm wondering if it does have an impact on performance, and you can see my VRAM usage is pushing up to 25 gigs. There's another big stutter. And you know what? I might actually, for the sake of this video, try to see if I can reload in Nolvus, because sometimes when you load in for the first time, you'll get these stutters, and then if you load in a second time, they all go away. So let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and save. And like I said, I'm going to just exit out of the game and try to load back in and see what happens here. All right, so I loaded back into the game, and like I thought, it smoothed out everything 100%. Now my VRAM is still pushing 24, which is pretty crazy. And it did increase the performance a little bit here. And the stutters have gone down. And I have noticed that before with Nolvus, not even just running the SR exteriors. Sometimes the first time you run it, it seems to be kind of like a little bit stutter here and there until you load back in. So this is Arcadia's.
Stock of potions and alchemy reagents.
This shop is super cool. I know I've been here multiple times in both of my Nolvus videos. Whoa! This lady Aaliyah, she just teleports all over the place. She's freaky. That's her assistant. There's Arcadia. What up, ladies? Who's this? Just having a little bread? Yep. Yeah, this is a really cool shop. I love it. It has this like basement. Some people think this is like too much. I think it's freaking awesome. I love this whole look in this whole shop. I really like how they've done the exteriors, like even like Bellathor's or that weapons shop at the front. Like it's very elaborate what they've done with this mod list. But anyway, running through here, looks like we're getting anywhere from 100 to, depending on where I'm looking, 125. And yeah, it does seem like, oh, as soon as I was about to say that, it seems like it's smoothed out. Had a small stutter there. But yeah, I mean, this looks really awesome. And this is actually one area I like to benchmark, kind of right in here. Yeah, it's running this really well. And this is the latest version of Nolvus. I hadn't actually tested out 6.0.14 yet. I was still on 6.0.13. So I think they made some performance improvements as well. All right, so this is running back outside. And yeah, I think that's just how it is. If you run this SR exteriors, it's just going to take a hit on your performance. Because you can see that I'm barely getting to like 60 sometimes. And let's see. They told me I'm not allowed here? Oh, they're talking to someone else. Okay, so coming back out here. Yeah, actually that loaded out fine coming out. Wow, it just got like really dark. The heck? Guess it's raining. Got like really dark though. One thing I'm not a huge fan of with Nolvus, this rain, it is so dense. Like, I think they need to use a different rain mod that's a little more, like, accurate. Man, what time is it? It's only 5 o'clock. Alright, let's brighten it up a little bit so we can see what we're doing out here. Got really dark with the rain. Alright, here we go. Little fog. Alright, so let's try this on another area. Let's go ahead and fast travel to Solitude. And what we're going to do is I'm not going to go directly into Solitude. Let's try going down. See, I'm trying to think about how far I should be before I go in. Maybe we'll try this Solitude Sawmill here and see if it runs the SR exteriors when we walk into the city and see if we have any more stuttering issues. This is absolutely crazy though. You can see our VRAM usage, well, it was when I was in Whiterun. It's gone down now, but it was at like 25. Absolutely wild. All right, I'm gonna brighten up the day a little bit. All right, so here we are in Solitude. Running pretty nicely over here, almost 90 FPS over by this little like river. All right, so let's see what happens if we go closer to the city and see if we have those same stuttering issues. We get to the point where it's essentially trying to load the entire city into the VRAM memory. Yeah, this is a cool mod list. It's one of my favorite mod lists, and it is definitely probably the hardest one to run. It's super nice. It has its own installer, so you can essentially like tell it to dumb down some of the settings if you have a system that's not crazy like mine. All right. So far, so good. Little hitch there. A few minor hitches, and like I said, oh, there it goes. There's a little hitch there. And I think that is, like I said, I believe that has to do with this mod. I'm kind of just guessing. But let's keep going up through here. 22 in the VRAM. 55 FPS. 24 in the VRAM.
If you've come to Solitude to join the Legion, speak to Rika.
Awesome. Yeah, that is super cool. I'm just kind of hoping that they can optimize it a little more.
Positions.
Sorry, you need to go home.
There's your standard event. You're aware.
Pardon me.
Oh.
You look like a fighter.
You should tell her that her
Do you
uncle is
think you
scum
can help me
to
out
take
with
his white
something?
king.
This is new. I've never had this encounter before. What you got, lady?
I discovered that a nearby old cave has been reoccupied, and I guarantee those new inhabitants are unlike anything you have come across before. There is a whole pack in there that needs to be destroyed, but there are too many for me to handle on my own.
Goblins? Oh wait, that's Oblivion.
I know that the creatures now living in that cave are very dangerous, and possibly magically possessed. They've been on... It needs to end. And I need someone who can...
So essentially she needs me to clear out a cave. We'll speed this up. Alright, yeah,
Meet me
we'll
outside Cold
Let's do
Hands
it.
Cave as soon as you can.
Perfect. Alright, so here we are in Solitude. Little problem with some blending here. They probably need to fix that. Not bad though. Actually, I feel like these are different roads than they had before. I haven't played Nolvus in a while, so I could be wrong. But yeah, I mean, it's running pretty well. 87, 88. I mean, obviously I can't complain too much here with a 5090. What's interesting is sometimes the 5090, oh wow, there's a little stutter. Sometimes the 5090 isn't at 100% all the time like it was in Riverwood. Kind of jumping down to 90. But we're still really pushing that VRAM. I actually thought I was going to push it more based on the way they described that mod in the settings, saying that I might need to use some kind of like frame generation. And that's another thing that you guys can do. There's a trick. If you have a lower end system, you can change the INI settings to medium from high, and that'll give you a pretty big performance jump. And then you could also try to run this with the SR cities. You would still probably need a pretty decent system with newer hardware, but maybe not like top of the line. Right, here's our blue palace here. Cool.
It's a cursed itch. It's been bothering me for
I swear to you, unnatural magics are coming from that cave.
Please don't interrupt the court.
We need someone to investigate.
Then we will immediately send out a legion to scour the cave and secure the town.
Alright, let's test this. Keep pressing the wrong button there. Okay, I keep pulling out my sword. I need to press E, not R. Come on. Alright, let's try this in Riften. Just right outside of Riften. I want to see how well this runs. It ran a lot better going into Solitude. There was still some minor stutters and whatnot. Let's see. Let's go. So here's Riften here. Here's your stables. Let's go to this marker here. Just right outside. See what happens when we load in. I guess here's a quick third person. Do a third person run real quick. Oh man, see that stuttering? It just, you saw as the doors opened, there was that like, essentially like half second.
You need to pay the visitors tax.
Oh man.
For the privilege of entering
Forgot about
the
the tax.
What does it
Try to persuade
call
him.
it what you want. You don't pay. I think you'd be a little smarter than that. It's been a pleasure doing business.
Too low level to do any of that.
Let me open the gate.
Oh, there it goes again. So yes, this is definitely that mod, and I wonder if there's a way to smooth it out a little bit. I'll probably have to like look into that, see if there's any way to do it.
You and Riften looking for trouble?
You're not naked this time, like in my last video I did.
That's the wrong. Last thing the
That's the
Blackbriars
wrong
need around here
answer.
is some troublemaker trying to steal a piece of it. The Blackbriars
Blackbriar.
have me. I'm Maul. I watch the streets for them.
Persuade him.
And you're you better watch your ass around here.
Okay. Didn't work. Oh man, once again.
Tired of your excuses. When you borrowed the money,
There's
you said you'd
Sapphire.
pay it back on time and for double the usual fee.
I like this NPC for Sapphire.
Next time, keep your plans quieter, and nothing would have happened.
22 on the VRAM, and then about 70, well, 60 to 75 coming through Riften here. Get it all brightened up. Okay, here we go. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it's that mod. It's definitely not like, I'd say like ready for prime time, you know? Yeah, there's another big stutter. And what's interesting is when I load out and load back in, it's fine.
Make love like a saber cat, or crush your enemies to dust like a giant.
Going to the bee and barb.
People of Riften, heed my words. The return of the dragons is not mere coincidence. This is one of the signs that Lady Mara is displeased with your constant inebriation. Put down your flagons filled with your vile liquids, and embrace the teachings of the Handmaiden of Kyne.
Think they're... Think they'll notice if I steal anything back here?
Talon?
Kirava, certainly we can come to some sort of an understanding. These people must be made aware of the chaos they've sown.
It's too many people.
We've all heard of the dragons and
All right.
There's no need to use
We got a tomato.
to harass our customers.
Very well, Talon. I'll remove myself from this den of iniquity.
We're not kicking you
No,
out.
keep talking so I could steal some mead.
And let us all sin in peace.
Oh, this is gonna be way too hard with no leveling.
To the right place. Pull up a seat.
Oh, those aren't actually like things I could steal. Okay. All right, we got a tomato. You know, that's probably the best it's gonna get. All right, enough messing around here. 108 FPS. Zoom back in. 114. Full assets. Yeah, everything just looks good with this. Why is everyone staring at me? Every single person in this place is staring at me.
Yeah. What's your problem?
Whoa, what's up, Sapphire? Just appears in here. What was happening in there? It was a weird interaction. I've never had that interaction in that bar before. All right, so yeah, like I said, coming back out here, then all of a sudden you can see the performance jumps way up again. Kind of interesting. Very interesting. All right, and then let's just try this in one more spot. And there goes the performance again. I honestly think let's go out of Riften and see what happens here. Wow, what is up with these like load in? A lot of pop in going on here. And that wasn't too bad leaving. I noticed the same thing in Whiterun. Leaving Whiterun wasn't too bad. Whoa, free bottle of wine? Take it. Oh man, I do really like this mod list. And this is like a autumn season right now. It does have like kind of like a seasons thing going on in this mod list. Looks real good. Yeah, honestly, this is one of the best mod lists. I'm actually surprised it's still in a beta state. I feel like a lot of mods, or mod lists I should say, in this state aren't in beta. And yeah, I'm still getting some like crazy stuttering. I'm wondering if I actually just need to like reboot my computer real quick, which I think I'm actually going to do that. Let's just save it here and we'll just jump back in after I reboot, and then we're going to try one more area with the SR exteriors. All right, so I rebooted my computer just to make sure that that was not the issue, was that I needed just a fresh restart of my system here. It does seem like it's smoothed out, but let's try another area just to test it out to see if that actually fixed the problem. And I guess one thing we could do, we could try to go back the other way now that it's loaded in fresh. You can see our VRAM's at 15 gigs. Try to go back into Riften since we're just right here around the corner. So let's go up around this bend here. So it's very possible I just needed a quick system refresh in order to run this a little better here. If that is the case, I think we actually might do some more testing. Oh, there it goes. Never mind. So yes, this is 100% that SR exteriors mod that's just like trying to load in the city right before you approach it. And I do have an NVMe SSD, so I don't think that's the problem. It's a pretty fast one as well. So I think it's just that mod needs a little more optimization. So in that case, let's just try another area. We won't have to go back to Whiterun. Let's see here. What's another area we could try? There's Morthal, or oh, let's go to the Markarth, or like this city. Go to the stables right here. All right, so here we are, right at the gate. So it might have already loaded in. You kind of saw where that render latency was spiking, but that also could have been from just the fact that I was trying to, like, you know, fast travel. So, let's see what happens here. There it goes. This seems smoother, but I might have been too close.
Lovely on my system.
Very cool, though. Oh, here's that encounter. There he is. Oh, lightning magic this time. Wow. Get him. Oh. Yeah, still getting some random stutters here. Why is he blue?
Right on the streets. Are you all right? Did you see what happened?
So I'm wondering if I need to reinstall this, because typically when you see like when they're blue like this, it means that an asset isn't loading in or a mod isn't loading in correctly. So interesting.
Oh, I think you dropped this. Some kind of note. It's important.
And it could just be an issue with this mod in general, but yeah, see how everyone's got like a blue face? Essentially, not everyone, but that essentially is telling me that not all the NPCs are loading in. See it there as well. But anyway, pretty cool mod. It runs really well, this mod list. Even the SR exteriors at cities, I mean, I don't think it's really worth it to use right now, especially if you're going to get like those major stutters right before you go into a city. But it's still a pretty cool mod to test out, especially with the new hardware. And if you guys have any tips or tricks on how to like fix some of that stuttering, I'd be very happy to hear it. Let me know down below in the comments. I would be very curious to hear it. So anyway, that'll do it for this video. If you guys like this kind of content, consider subscribing to the channel. I'll be reviewing some more mod lists. This was a little different review. This was to test out the 5090 since I just got it. I figured I'd do a cool video on it, doing the SR exteriors in like the most extreme possible version of Nolvus, which is one of the hardest mod lists to run. So anyway, if you guys have any recommendations of other mod lists, let me know down below in the comments. I'm going to be doing some more content like this, as well as probably some PC performance optimizations. So if any of that kind of content interests you, consider subscribing to the channel. And as always, have a wonderful day.